Hi there, AJ.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, look where you are. What are you doing today?
I'm actually going to be. I've fed all of my tanks except for this one. This is my semi-aggressive tank with my pea puffers and a couple of killifish. And there were just, they've been. Usually I give them snails, but today I thought I'd give them something different for them to chase, and I thought I'd share that with you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, that sounds really good.
So,
Um, so what we're doing is we're feeding live food. It's one thing to raise live food. It's another to use it for its intended purpose, which is as food for our fish. So, what do you got to feed them,
I'm
AJ?
going to give them some scuds. Now, there's already scuds in this tank. I know that. But they're really good at hiding. So I'm going to give them some scuds that are like out in the open. I'm just going to throw a bunch of scuds in there. And before these scuds can get their bearings or run away, the pea puffers and the killifish will be right on them.
All
And it'll
right.
be fun to watch.
Okay, so show
Yeah.
us what you got. You have
So,
harvested. Now, how
yeah.
did you harvest them?
Really through a turkey baster. And I threw a bit of hornwort in some clear water, and I just took a turkey baster, and it was in my blackworm cultures, and I didn't mean for it to happen, but the scud population exploded, but it didn't seem to affect the blackworms. So
Okay.
um, what I'm gonna there's 100 in here at least. And it's hard to see. So pro tip: when you're borrowing your husband's whiskey glass, make sure he's not home.
Right. Ah,
Um, so I'm going to take just that little bit of hornwort. I'm going to shake it or put it like shake it in here so you guys will have. I mean, that's all I'm going to do is like take a little plant that I know that they've been clinging to. I'm going to shake it up in here, and that way you'll be able to see exactly how
okay,
much.
bring that glass right up to the camera, and let's
Mm,
do that. Perfect.
okay,
Right.
this is going to be fun. Because I'm literally having to balance several things at once. So let me put it down for a second.
Ah,
I have no choice. I have to. And go. All right.
oh my! Look at them all. Got
Yeah.
headaches.
And I'm not even getting them all. Like these suckers can cling, but I'm going to put that
My.
back. So there's probably about, oh my gosh, about 30. And there's small ones too, but there's big ones. There's a couple of breeding pairs in here, which is fine.
Move it over more in front of the cat. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Great.
Yeah. So I'm going to put these bait. Oh my God, there's like a million of them. I'm going to put these right in the tank. And obviously, this is a little snail. I don't think any of them will object to that.
Ah,
Snail.
okay. Let's go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, they're the and um, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna put it in the tank, and you're gonna watch to see what the fish do.
Okay.
All right. All right. Now I haven't fed them all day. Sorry about the light. These things are really dumb. So I've got several of them on still clinging to the glass. So I'm gonna grab that turkey baster. Like they're seriously dumb. All right. Yeah, they're going nuts for it. I could
Look at
probably
the
get
puppers down the bottom
the what?
hunting. The
Yeah,
puppers are hunting.
yeah. The puppers are hunting. The killifish are going
Kelly,
crazy.
they're all over them, right?
Yeah. Oh, oh, look! This one. There's like a breeding pair, and like two of them are running after him. Oh my gosh, it's funny. All right, let's. You know what? Just for the heck of it, let's find a few more. All I'm doing is a turkey baster and the exact same thing that I showed you. Not quite as clean water, but
Okay.
there's a bunch more in here.
There sure are.
So
That's a pretty good size food.
yes, it is.
Adults, yeah. So,
Some of the adult, like it depends. There's different types of them in here. There's some of the adults are really, really big. But then there's like some that are really tiny, and yet I know they've reached sexual maturity because they're mating.
right.
So, I have more than one species of scud. There's a mix.
Ooh, look at them. You got right in the way of it.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and sometimes it's not always the cleanest water, and that's okay because the plants feed off of any detritus that I put in there with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't try to like normally I don't remove the scuds in a completely sterile water environment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly clean, but I don't, if there's like some detritus or a little bit of algae or moss or like, just a little bit of like particles and organic particles in the water, I just put it in
Put that right in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Feeds it all. So
Right.
I mean, and it's never murkied the water ever.
And that promotes macrofauna in
It does.
the tank as well. Yeah.
It does.
Okay, so what we're seeing fish feed naturally, the way they would if they were in the wild. They spot something and dart after it. It's not like you're putting a bunch of dead stuff on the top that floats down. These are living organisms that are creating the chase.
They are, and I don't have to put too many of them, but these scuds are like they're all over. Now these particular scuds that I threw in there, it's a foreign environment for them, so
Right.
they are going to have a survival instinct, but they're at a clear disadvantage because the pea puffers and the killifish are waiting for them.
Right.
And now they know that these things have come into the tank, and so all of a sudden they're, especially with this tank, very occupied, and that means they're not picking on each other. They're not picking on other species within the tank, including species that are more peaceful. They're occupied by hunting.
Yeah, they're obviously looking around,
Yes.
trying to find food.
And every once in a while and if I wish you could see closely.
Dark. Yeah.
Yeah. What happens is sometimes as they're hunting, and they do hunt in packs, they unearth one of the poorly hidden scuds, and then they all like go after
Everybody's
it.
on it. Right. Right.
So this is a fun tank to watch. It is definitely my favorite.
Okay, now you just put some of those in there. How often do you feed that tank?
Oh my God, the killifish not killifish. My coolie loach just grabbed one. He went right at it. I didn't even know coolie loaches ate scuds. I don't actually. Well, because this tank is semi-aggressive, I do tend to put more stuff in the tank for him to eat, but it's usually snails. Like if you look closely at the substrate, oh, he just grabbed one. He got one. See this guy? Got it. Oh yeah, now they're all picking it apart. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, now they're all picking it apart. They're like velociraptors. Yep. It like they literally tear these things apart, and they can do it because they have these beaks. But
right.
Sorry, I got distracted. Easily get distracted with this tank. I don't have to feed this tank. There's enough living organisms in this tank that they would be very well occupied. But because there's, some, because I want to balance the aggression in this tank, I actually end up feeding them quite often. But most of the time, it's just simply snails. Like there's a complete snail graveyard. Oh yeah, there's. I'm close by, so I can see them better. But I'm watching them tear apart these scuds. Like I see one of them just grabbed a couple over there, etc. But so the snail, I mostly feed snails, and the pea puffers eat the snails, no problem. The killifish eat the snails as well, which is something I didn't know until I observed it. And that's when I added them to the tank. I observed it, and then I added them to the tank because I figured they would eat the, and then the coolie loaches go in after the killifish and the pea puffers, and they just kind of scavenge the rest of the meat, if you will.
Right. So everything is out in the open there.
Yes.
They're not self-conscious. They're not hiding from you. They're out behaving very naturally and normally.
Oh
looking for food.
They've never shown
little animals.
They've never shown any fear. And even when I'm not, even when we're not filming and feeding, even when I'm not actively feeding them, every time I pass by, there's the majority of them hanging out on the glass, waiting for food. They're not shy at all. And the other residents in the tank, they don't hide either, which is a good thing.
Well, they're patrolling too. I mean, they're all over the tank looking.
Yep. They certainly are. The killifish tend to chase each other a bit. I think they're all males, but they leave the pea puffers alone. It's almost like,
they do, don't they?
Yeah, it's almost like the two don't really, they don't really acknowledge them very much.
One of the things I've noticed about fish is if you have fish from completely different regions, like different continents, they'll act like the other one doesn't exist.
Interesting.
They don't recognize it, and they have no behavioral understanding of it.
Oh, excuse me. I'm just going to add some more scuds, because it's fun to watch. I don't even need to put that many in. I just want to show you more things for them to chase.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I love these animals. I don't. There are a lot of people who go out of their way to discover, put same species together in these including up to plants and environment, and there's in different biotypes.
A biotype, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure someday I'll attempt it, but I'm really more looking at. I'm really when I make display tanks, it's more about the aesthetics, and then also the ecosystem. Actually,
you've got fish there from Asia, South America, and Africa.
I even have a fish here that's native to the U.S. as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
nice.
Yeah,
what a great tank.
It is. It's so much fun to watch, and it's they're. Yeah,
it's an easy tank to add fish to.
It is. It is. It wasn't challenging like people kept saying it would be.
Right.
I do see some fin nips occasionally on the killifish. Not bad. And I think it has more to do with them being aggressive and them chasing each other, because the pea puffers are pretty indifferent. Yeah, see those
right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's two males, isn't it?
I think there's three fish. I think all three of them are males, actually. So I'm glad I don't have a female in there. They probably kill each other. In the meantime, all they do is just sort of chase each other around the tank every once in a while. particularly around feeding time, resources. But it's not to the point where they'll kill each other. And they're certainly not afraid. I mean, if the tank is
Yeah,
large,
exactly. Yeah.
they just find their own they find their own spot.
Well, thank you, EJ. That's delightful.
You're welcome. Oh.
What fun. So we're raising food and
Yes.
feeding food.
Yes.
That's really what it's all about. Is being able to feed these foods. And EJ does such an amazing job of raising cultures of live foods. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Delightful. I love it. Bye for now.
Goodbye.